So there was another game that I wanted to talk about that kind of flew completely under my radar until someone tweeted at me and like, this is great. You should check it out. And that is GreedFall, which is coming out in September. So it's a little tricky. September 10th is the release date. But
it's in the middle of the warning zone, the battlefield.
Red
alert! Red alert!
So I'm just going to read what it says about it on the Steam page, and then I'll talk about why it kind of looked really cool to me. So it says, GreedFall, explore uncharted new lands as you set foot on a remote island seeping with magic and filled with riches, lost secrets, and fantastic creatures. Forge this new world's destiny as you befriend or betray companions and entire factions. With diplomacy, deception, and force, become part of a living, evolving world, influence its course, and shape your story. So it's like a pirate RPG, so you can make your own character. You have full customization. You're not just picking up a character and kind of playing a story with it. It's open world RPG pirate with magic and fantasy. And I'm looking at some gameplay of the monsters. It's like they look almost Dark Souls-y, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
The presentation of this really reminds me of The Witcher 3. Like like the view of the shoulder, the way the combat is presented, like it heavily reminds me. I wonder if it's influenced by The Witcher 3 at all. And then, Eric, you saw it and you immediately thought Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I had that sort of like, Assassin's Creed, almost like, that partly and sort of like For Honor vibe. Because when I sort of jumped to the part of the cutscene, it was like that, reminded me of one of the recent ones where there's just like this big open battlefield and you have to kind of start working through them. So, yeah.
But it's like deep customization, too.
Yeah.
Which is that's
looks
that's
really good.
Yeah, the game looks awesome.
Being able to be a pirate with magic and spells and like full customization and progression, you don't just make a really in-depth character, it's actual full progression.
How much gameplay have they actually released so far?
I don't know. So there was 10 minutes of GreedFall gameplay from IGN Live at E3.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I've been watching. But yeah, I don't know how much has been shown. It completely went under my radar. I had no idea about it. And then I was like, holy crap. Open world pirate.
Looks like
RPG?
I'm dropping everything in September to play GreedFall.
It's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm definitely playing this when it comes out, and it's a packed
It looks
month.
awesome. Yeah.
But this game is hitting a lot of those kind of joy spots for me.
Yeah.
Those happy zones.
Yeah.
The happy zone.
So what's your September scheduling? What is it? It's like
So you do
Monster Hunter,
Iceborne?
2 days, GreedFall, 2 days, Battlefield, Borderlands 2 days, Destiny.
Isn't there almost a week between Borderlands
Zelda.
and Destiny?
No, there's like 4 days.
4 days.
Yeah, it's the
13th to the 17th.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a real shy week.
So basically you have the weekend to play Borderlands, and then Destiny's out.
You know what's gonna happen in Destiny for me is when Destiny comes out, I'm gonna get to the raid, and then I'm gonna switch back to other games because there's just too many games I really want to play.
What if they bring that Armor 2.0 super deep and interesting, a new mod system?
It'll
and you're
still
like,
be
oh,
there in October. But Borderlands 3 is really singing my song.
Oh my god,
Like,
Borderlands 3 is
I
gonna
really
be
want to play
amazing.
that. Yeah,
Borderlands 3 is 100. I feel like Borderlands 3 is like, 100%. I'm super excited for that. It's going to be like, I'll play through. I think I'm going to try and sort of blitz the story, like in the, first couple of days, hopefully, and then after that, you work out what all the post game stuff is. But if I can at least get like story stuff done before the stuff starts coming out, then then Borderlands will be in a position where I can manage it slightly better, I think.
So if it's going to follow,
that makes sense.
If it's going to follow in past Borderlands games, there's going to be your first playthrough and then your second playthrough of like true Vault Hunter mode. So you have your normal story mode, you go through that, you finish it, you get the idea of it, and then you have true Vault Hunter mode where everything's harder, the elementals are usually more important. But that also means that your gear is better as well, and sometimes certain things don't drop in normal that do drop in true Vault Hunter mode. I don't know if that's going to be the case with it. True.
It's going to be interesting how it all plays out. I feel like, so I'm definitely playing Monster Hunter World, Borderlands, Destiny, and Code Vein. Like 100%. I'm playing those games. I can't
just those 4.
Well, I think what I want to do with GreedFall is just we'll stream it for a day. Maybe we'll do like Monster Hunter World, and then we'll go into GreedFall and just see how it feels. If it feels really interesting and like it's captivating me, we'll have to make some space for it. Maybe we stream 17 hours a day. I don't know. And
just don't sleep, right?
Damn.
Easy.
Just don't sleep. Don't eat. We'll just eat at the desk. It's fine.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
just
but
get one of those really long Twizzlers and just kind of
yeah.
Or get the Huel sponsorship and just drink Huel for the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have a really long swizzly straw, and we'll just condense all our food in a blender so we can suck it through the straw, and we don't even have to move.
Soylent.
Yeah, there we go. Soylent. That's a good idea. I do that. But yeah, I think it's a GreedFall. It's a game that interests me enough to try it out and kind of see where it goes from there.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what September is. Just play a lot of games and just kind of see where it goes. See what
GreedFall is type
single
of game,
player
though,
RPG.
Yeah, like that's my thing. Is like I feel like it could like hit that back burner and then never come back to it if you play it too early, because it might be one of those type of games. So like for me, I'd be concerned about starting up and then like several months later being like, I should go back to the game, but we already did. And
true.
You know,
I didn't come to The Witcher 3 until like a year after it was out because I was just in the full throes of Destiny addiction when that game came out. I didn't even give it a look really. And just I ended up buying it because I heard it was a good PC game, and I just bought a new gaming PC. And I just got like,
it was a tech demo.
So hooked. Yeah, basically, I just wanted to try it out. It's like, holy shit, this game is amazing.
Yeah.
So like this game, might be, get some patches, and in August of 2020, it might be a better game than when it was released. That happened to The Witcher for sure. Witcher 3 came out and like they redid the controls for it. They were real sluggish on the release of that game. There was a lot of bugs, especially on consoles.
True, yeah.
Yep, could be a pocket pick for when things are a bit slow. That's a really good game kind of sitting there.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Watts. Like the game looks amazing, and it makes me go, man, I'd love to jump into that game and invest 30 to 40 hours in the campaign.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of time.
Not in September. If I made this game, like if it was my job to like kind of figure out when we're gonna release this game, I wouldn't touch September with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
No.
Like this reminds me of when Fallout 4 came out and like Tomb Raider came out the same day. Like, why would you just leave Tomb Raider to die?
Yep.
That just seems stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, like if they released it in this time period right now, I know kids don't play games in summer. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I would be all about it. I'd be playing it. I have ample time to play something right now. If it would fit perfectly into me, we play some Destiny, then we jump into some other game.
Imagine
Youngblood is coming out in the summer. I can't wait to play that.
If GreedFall came out in first or second week of August, oh my god, that would be
that would have been good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Or delay it till like February.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to do you have to invent be the pioneers for new streams where you actually play 3 games at once and you have 3 different windows.
I like it.
I don't quite know how you would do it, but imagine. I mean,
if there's an auto run feature, we might be able to figure it out.
Or you just you play one of them until you get to like a cutscene where you have to press to go through the text. And you're like, all right, let's take a pause here. Let's go and play this one. And people have a really crazy experience.
I love auto run features like in Assassin's Creed or The Witcher, where you can just like hit a button or a button combo and it makes your character like, on a horse usually just start running to a destination that's like predestined. But in Assassin's Creed, you actually don't have to select a destination. You can just be on any road and tell them to auto run and it'll just start running around. And it's really fun to watch where your character will go in a game like that because, like, who the fuck knows, right? Like, where are we going to end up? I don't know. I love that feature. I
remember back in, when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, I think I put up a tweet and a lot of people got angry at me because I was like, hey, my favorite feature in... Oh, no. Have I frozen?
No.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, just my camera in Discord is frozen, but I'm still here.
Okay.
Anyway, I put up the tweet. I was like, "Oh, my favorite feature in Red Dead Redemption is the fact that I can mark someone on the map and I can then go into like cinematic mode and it runs me there." And then someone quote tweeted it was like, "Oh, your favorite feature is not playing the game." It's like, I mean, I'm really enjoying the game however I want.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's immersive.
Whenever I did that in that game, I'd always run over somebody. Like, every single time.
I mean, you're watching in cinematic mode as your horse slowly trots and knocks someone over. And and now it's all bad.
My favorite thing in that game was the old rope and go. You cannot not laugh at the rope and go. You're like, howdy, partner.
Yeah.
Let's go. And you drag them for a good mile or so, a couple miles. And then eventually they die.
There was a good animation in that game where if you were riding at full speed and your horse hit a stump or a rock, you'd like fly off the horse.
Yes.
It was a really good animation that really made me laugh hard a couple of times.
That was great. I had a bug happen where a guy was supposed to further the like a storyline and it stopped. Okay. And I could just like kick him infinitely around the whole like landscape. He was just like constantly getting kicked because he wouldn't die. So like I could just constantly beat him up, rope him, beat him up, kick him, boom, boom. He was like, "Oh, stop, jeez, come on, what are you doing? Oh God, oh, I'll tell you everything." It was great.
You know, I wonder what the state of the multiplayer in that game is right now because it really it launched pretty
bare bones, pretty rough.
Yeah,
it got better from what I've heard, but nothing's really like grabbed. From what I understand. No. Yeah, nothing's like latched on and been like, oh, this is the Red Dead Online experience that people have been waiting for. So it's also
hopefully they come up with something by the time that comes out on PC.
It's tough because online gaming today in 2019 is so different from when like Red Dead first came out. Like back then it was like, oh, people can just jump into a space and be cowboys. Well, that's wild.
At the same time, though, this is Rockstar. Like they have one of the most popular online games in the world with GTA 5.
But like, at that point, they're competing with themselves because that's still extremely popular.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. I think one of the problems with it as well is like it's one of those things where it was kind of a weird topic to kind of discuss when the game came out because so many people were so like defensive about it because they just thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread. Like to me, like I appreciated Red Dead Redemption 2 from a technical point of view. I was like, it's a fantastic looking game. There's some really interesting things. I was like, but if you really start peeling it back, I was like, it's not actually in my opinion, it's not actually a great game. Like combat wise, the combat and the aiming and everything like that was very dated. It was a very kind of old system that they've really had for a very long time. There haven't really been the significant improvements since like previous games or the models they've used and other things. Like a lot of the outside the story, a lot of the mission structure, everyone spoke about this like, oh, it's crazy, you can go around the world and there's always stuff happening. It's like, but when you really peel that back, there's actually like
super
a lot
repetitive.
more of the world. It's just barren and repetitive. It's like, oh, this guy got his foot caught in a bear trap. And but a lot of people kind of, addressed it from the point of view where they're like, oh no, it's just, this is the best thing and you can't possibly say anything bad about Red Dead. It's like, it's not actually because it's kind of the Apple effect, right? They're like, oh no, it's Rockstar. So because Rockstar made it, it's great. I can't hear anything else. It's like, I mean, Rockstar are great. They've done GTA, but to me, I saw Red Dead and I was just like, this is a boring game. Like, it wasn't my thing. Like, I didn't particularly get that attached to the characters. I didn't find the gameplay that exciting. I got more of my fun literally just like roaming the world, and I ended up playing the game doing the collectible stuff because that's kind of the stuff I do in open worlds. So I had more fun in Red Dead kind of doing the stuff that you weren't really supposed to do, or just like the not story stuff.
The collectible stuff was actually kind of fun, like hunting down the big monsters was really fun, and making that armor and stuff. That was probably a really fun part. But yeah, I mean,
I found that part to be boring because I had to do so much waiting around for those things to show up. I invariably got bored and went and did something else.
I think
there's so much of that game where I just felt like they reached for reality too much. And left gameplay and fun behind.
Yeah, well, I think this is the thing. If you want to be a cowboy, like, do you want to be a cowboy which includes going out and getting food for your camp and like helping out the camp, like take potatoes places? then you're gonna love Red Dead because that's what you are. You're living the life of a cowboy.
Yeah, but even then, it's like you upgrade your camp and like nothing really changes because of it, you know. And like,
I have to agree. I think like that's the angle of Red Dead, is that it's this old-timey feel back when cowboys were starting to become dated and time was moving on. And if you're into that type of feel, you can get immersed into it, and it's fantastic. If you're not into that at all, then 100% it's a turnoff.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, Briar, you're waiting around a lot. You're trying to find. You're waiting. I spent a bunch of time waiting for a legendary beaver to show up.
And I understand that wholeheartedly, my friend.
I was like all
my teen years, actually.
Oh wait. No, wait. Okay, yeah, it was the legendary beaver I spent a lot of time looking for. And then I also spent a lot of time looking for the 3-star beaver as well, for a particular pelt type of thing that I had to get done. And a lot of time was invested in this. And a lot of roaming back and forth. And for you, Briar, you'd probably be like, okay, this is boring. I have no desire to sit around this creek and like constantly zoom in and look for this 3-star beaver. But I had a great time doing it. And then like hillbillies came up and like ransacked me when I was sleeping and told me that they're like, you'll get lost. All right.
There's
get lost.
The first 15 hours of that game, Tefty, I enjoyed wholeheartedly, because like that kind of thing where like all of a sudden, like I was doing my own thing and then this like totally emergent thing would happen was incredible. And I couldn't believe what was happening. And then those guys got me the second time. It was the same guys, but in a different place. And I was like, okay, that's starting to unpeel the wrapper a little bit.
Sure.
Like you're starting to see the mechanism underneath. And like you run across this lady who, you know, she twisted her ankle, she fell off her horse, and she needs a ride home. You help her out, right? And then you find her again. Or this guy bit by a rattlesnake. It's like, it's so, the first 10 hours of that game were so impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The second 10 hours were like, wait a minute.
That's when you start roping, man. The guy has bit by a rattlesnake, needs to have it sucked out again. Time to rope him. It's the old rope and drag.
All my favorite parts of that game were like off the script, right? It was like all just shit that just randomly happened.
Yeah. You know what?
Like
my other one,
some of the story was good too.
Yeah, my other one gripe with the game is like, it wasn't even Red Dead specifically. It's like any game that does this. And I appreciate that, like, it's probably one of the only ways they can really do it in games. But I hate in any game mandatory walking sequences where they're like, we're going to force you to walk slowly because we want to set the scene.
Gears of War was the first time I ever saw that, and I feel like that's like the Gears of War effect in video games. Oh man, that drives me crazy. Because
there's two ways to do it. They either do it because like you're listening to someone talk, or it's the opposite where like you're super wounded. You're like, oh, I've got to walk slowly. I'm just like, please, like I can sprint any other moment. And like the worst thing is, I'll always do those sequences, and I'm still furiously spamming the sprint button. I'm like, any moment you let me run, any moment.
Destiny 2 did it in the beginning of the story, and then you've got to do it on your second character, and then you've got to do it on your third character.
Yep.
Like, I want to run button right now.
It was the beginning of the Code Vein demo. I had to walk for that small segment of the tree. Uncharted, they used to do it. Like any of those ones, and I'm just like, please, just like I would rather run around the character, like the NPC, and look like an idiot.
Yeah, totally.
I can't deal with the force.
I could teabag them as they're walking. There's many things I could do.
Exactly right. Yeah. And then in Red Dead, that was exacerbated.
They did that a lot.
There was a super long like trudging along on my horse for like half an hour, and I'm just like, this was also when it first came out. Obviously, I was on the content grind, so I'm like, my dude, I need to get past this because I need to play the game so I can actually make some videos. I don't want to sit here for half an hour listening to you talk a stinking story. I just want to get off my horse, let me sprint, and then the first half an hour was like, now I've got to go and do some stupid long tasks before the map opens up. Like it was a frustrating experience for me.
Yeah.
See, at least in Code Vein, at the end of the walking, you get to you have a girl lay on your lap.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
So it's worth it.
All right.
Yeah. The other one is now they hide loading scenes by your character kind of like slowing down and like maybe pushing something aside. You know, like that is just
the
constant
door
now.
opening.
Yeah, it's always the same animation though. You see the same animation like in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I was playing recently. It was like this, like
did it a lot.
Brushing the vines aside, but there's fucking vines. It's like the same 6 vines like, everywhere. You know.
That's funny.
Yeah, I understand why they do it. It's definitely more immersive than just like a cut screen, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's those things when you see the gears behind, you see the man behind the wizard kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Do we have any other